What's up, guys? Pull day 2 on the menu today. So we'll go through the same motions we've gone through the past. Just continue progressing. So I'll do voiceovers on these again, kind of going through my cues, my thought process with this, so you can carry that over to your own training, make it your own, to make your training that much more progressive and that much more optimal towards your goals.
Starting off with our first motion here, I'm at lat emphasis phase, so I'm doing a single arm cable row. On this, I want to open up towards my working side, so when we're in the eccentric, as we drive that cable back to its starting position, our arm is in that lengthened state. That twist is going to help even more emphasize that stretch in our lat. As we drive through, we are owning the motion the entire time, letting our humerus or upper arm slightly stretch. And then as we drive, think about leading that elbow tight to the body towards your hip. Again, breathing in through the nose during that stretch. Excellent as you drive through. Following that will be our rack chin. This is more lat hypertrophy. So I'm setting up with angle 90 handles, D handles, more like a Swiss bar. I have an easy bar across my waist, and I have a bench that I set my feet on. This is going to emphasize, it's kind of like a chin up, but to be a little bit more of a stretch at the bottom reps. The stretch is insane on the lats. I have a semi-supinated grip, and I really focus on driving my elbows to the floor on this and really emphasize the stretch on every rep. So you'll notice I'll be hanging down there for a second, owning that stretch, and then driving my elbow back up that way. Keeping a consistent flow throughout the majority of all the reps here. Following that up is going to be more lat hypertrophy, a little bit of shoulder health. It's called a DC lat hang. So I have 135 pounds strapped on my waist there. You can do this body weight and work your way up. Right now I'm using Versa grips, and it's going to help with lat hypertrophy, stretching into hypertrophy just from extreme stretching, but also a lot of good benefits to overall shoulder health, and also grip strength. So a couple ways to make this a bit more challenging for your grip would be obviously not to use straps, and hold for as long as you can. But if you're going more for the shoulder health and lat hypertrophy, I'd recommend strapping in so you can add a little bit more external load on yourself to increase that stretch and increase the tension that's pulling you down. But like I mentioned, you're going to go for time on this. I set my clock. I go for a minute plus, and as soon as I hit like a minute and a half or 2 minutes, that's where I'll bump up the weight. So I'll consistently want to hang for about a minute. I believe I got like a minute 15 here on this. I didn't have the whole video up, just because I don't want to talk over that for a whole minute. But you get the point here. Hang for as long as you can. Let yourself hang. Let yourself hang. As the time goes on, breathing in, let that stretch get a little bit deeper. You do not want to pull yourself up at all. Letting yourself feel that stretch. So like I mentioned, we're in that lat emphasis phase. We've done that single arm cable row lat emphasis. We've done our rack chins lat emphasis, and we've done our DC lat hang lat emphasis. Our motion here for more upper back is going to be a Kurosaki row. So on this, you want to go heavy. I have a bit higher volume on this. I have 2 sets of 15 to 20. Typically, I don't do that high a volume. But on this, we want to focus on leading with our elbows, scapular protraction and retraction. Due to the degree of pulling down, we'll get a little bit of traps involved within this too. But you want to focus more on that stretch. Drive that up towards your belly button there, keeping the reps consistent. You might get stuck in your low back a tiny bit as fatigue takes over. Our last back motion is going to be a low back extension. On this, you want to focus on spinal flexion and extension going through this motion, but be intentional, right? This is not a motion you want to go heavy on and just move load, right? Because we can move load pretty heavy on this. My back is strong. I can compensate very well on my back. I'm using 40-pound dumbbells here. I could, quote unquote, easily go up to 80, 100-pound dumbbells, but then more likely lose tension where I want to go and have a higher risk of injury here. On this, we want to focus on driving our hips, squeezing our glutes to get up, spend that split second at the top, and squeezing our low back. We're working more in that Christmas tree, so to speak here, so our erectors throughout this motion. So focus on breathing in on the way down, feeling that stretch, then exhale as you drive through, slight pause at the top, repeating that process. On this motion, I had 3 sets of 8 to 12, keeping the reps consistent across the board again here. So I'll be wrapping up my back portion of the workout here. Our last 2 motions are going to be 2 bicep variations. One's going to be an incline cable curl. Due to the degree of the incline, you're going to be positioned, your torso is going to be leaning back a bit more. And how you pull the cable here is you want that cable low so the tension's at the bottom is a straight line. So it connects straight to the bar, straight to your hands, point A to point B. With this, since the cable is low and you're sitting down, as you curl up, you'll notice I let my elbows drive up a tiny bit there. Typically, you want to keep that elbow to your side, but on this variation here, we're working more in that shortened position. Your elbows will naturally flare slightly, but you really want to focus on flexing at the top there, holding that for a split second, breathing in and getting that full stretch. Cracking at the elbow, driving up, getting that full squeeze, then full extension. I had 3 sets of 8 to 12 here. Then my last motion will be a Swiss bar, kabuki bar, curl. On this same thing, 2 sets of 10 to 15. Want to focus on keep that chest tall, spinal extension. Think about a tripod foot. Get good ground traction. Big toe, little toe, heel in the ground the entire time. Then as you go through this, keep your elbow stuck at your side and crack at the elbow. Think about driving your forearm into your bicep. So this will be working more of that mid-range with the weight here. So we work short and mid and lengthen range. And then on this is working more brachioradialis with your bicep brachia and brachialis, all getting worked throughout the motions of today. So go ahead and give this workout a try. Let me know any questions and concerns. Make it your own. Find that volume intensity that best fits you, and train within your recovery capacity and keep on growing.
Pull day 2 in the books. Very, very solid lift. Motions felt great today. Energy was high, locked in. Great lift. That's what happens when you keep everything else consistent. You get to feed off that, right? Day in and day out. Find the plan, that system that best fits you, and reap the benefits of it. Everybody's capable of it. Everybody's capable of that greatness that you want. It's just about doing the work and actually being honest with yourself. Are you putting in your full effort day in and day out to reach your goals, day in and day out that way? So be honest with yourself. Put in that effort. Be relentless towards your goals. The sky's the limit.